Good evening, sunshines. Sorry about the delay this evening. We just had a mild incident with the donkeys. We're having a fire outside because we just did a big project and... Oops, that's going to be a problem. Sorry about the delay.
Go ahead.
And as we were burning a bunch of the debris from the project, the donkeys, though they are 8 years old and way too smart to do this and have been around fire since literally day one of their lives, decided to get a little too close to the fire, and in that became a blaze in a very, they're totally fine. But when you see them come in here in a second, you'll probably see some char marks. So lest you think that something nefarious is going on, that is what's happening. So, also, I just want to point out that this was the best birthday present I got this year. My friend Rachel had it made for me, and it is an inside joke that maybe someday we'll tell you all about. But most importantly, it's very cool, and it makes me smile every time I drink out of it. So, Rachel, thank you for the birthday present. And let's kick things off.
Let's do it.
Should I bring the donkeys in right away?
I think so.
Okay, great.
Well, do that.
Adam, entertain them, regale them with a story really quick while I call the donkeys, and we'll see how much chaos we can cause in the process. Howdy, Bella. Come on, buddies. This light might be a little bit in the way of my ability to open the door. Wait. Oh, here they are, right here. Ah! Ooh. Come on in, buddy.
Gosh,
you want to come in?
No.
Come here, Howdy. Come on, Bella. Come on in. Oh, come on in. Bella, are you coming? Bella. Hi.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, buddies. Hello.
Okay.
This is Howdy, the handsome one right here. And the cute one, the smaller one, is Bella. And Bella definitely got the worst of the toasting. Her tail, here, buddy, come right in and show them. Her tail right here is, oops, you're okay, Bubba. She doesn't want to show you because she's embarrassed. Well, you can see the char marks right here on her belly. And then, oh my gosh, it smells like burned hair. Anyway, her tail is now much shorter than it used to be.
That's burnt.
Oh, now you see it. Look at this. It used to be a full tail, and now it's only a partial tail. Ooh. And, well, that's happening. Anyway, the donkeys did that. So we brought them in.
It literally smells like a hair salon in here.
It really does. Bella, you really did some damage there, girl. It's okay. We brought them in because Howdy and Bella are extremely passionate about helping us with our recycling. They love cardboard. Oh, already stealing something that wasn't for you to help us open. But okay, here. Let me just take that right.
They're trying to open the Redmond clay.
This is Redmond clay, which we are going to talk about in a little while. Now it's covered with donkey slobber, but no problem. And anyway, all that to say, they are passionate about helping us with our recycling. I don't know if you know this, but most cardboard these days is made with corn glue, which, thanks to U.S. subsidies is a thing. But in that, all of the cardboard boxes that we have around for our garden, etc., are generally very, very attractive to the donkeys. Don't worry about it. I already moved everything that they could do anything. The donkeys were quite eager to come in because I've had some snacks available recently that I specifically did not want them to get into, but they actually do come in here quite frequently because, oh my gosh, Howdy got it too. I didn't realize that. See, already. Okay, so, well, that was faster than I expected, but I got some really cool slippers from Duluth, which I was very excited for them to help me open. And as they absolutely obliterate this, I'll also tell you that we one time had a sponsor of a video who shan't be named because they're not paying for a spot on this video. But because the donkeys were so excited to help me open the box, I actually had to delay the video by 2 weeks and ask the sponsor to send their products a second time, literally because they had absolutely destroyed them. So all that to say, we had to have the donkeys had destroyed everything. So
they said that was the first time they'd ever heard that.
Oh yes, they definitely said. They're like, we're actually going to like give you the extension on your video. Oops, just spilled tea all over myself. And we're going to send you more product, because that is, even if it's a lie, the most creative excuse we've ever heard for a video being late. And which all brings us to right now, which is Duluth is one of the reasons that we are able to make these videos. Actually, a lot of the reasons why. One of our 2 sponsors for this segment. And because they use donkey-safe cardboard for their boxes, we are able to let Howdy and Bella help us to unbox these sweet slippers that I cannot wait to get out of my my work boots and trade into here. My Lanta, that tea's going everywhere. Wow, thanks, buddy. Wow, look at these cool moccasins. These are 100% real fur lining. Oh, and good, they're already into the box. I also ordered some overalls that are on massive clearance right now because they discontinued the pattern, unclear why. And some hats at Adam's request for Adam, and also a hat for my mom of all trades, because my parents are actually visiting at the moment. And we have been promised that my mom would bring us some Christmas cookies for the live stream and say hello.
Anyway, he's like annihilating this box.
It's perfect. It's fine. They use donkey-safe cardboard.
Here, move a little bit over.
Oh, sorry. Yes, allow me to. I also have to mention that I'm currently protecting my handmade brooms because I found out the hard way the other day. They actually gave this broom a haircut because they thought that it looked too delicious. So now the brooms come over here when the donkeys come into my office, and I guard them with my life.
Well?
Adam, is your mic handy? Because you should put it close so that people can hear the chomping noises. It's very cute. And while they do that, I'm going to put on these slippers.
I'm pretty sure they can hear it. It's pretty loud.
My gosh, that hair
I think someone's going to steal it.
is quite pungent.
Yeah, it literally smells like a slime.
I suppose while the donkeys are in here, we are safe to go toss these on the bonfire, the paper items. But first I have to put on my slippers. These are the best because they have a shoe lining. So if I have to run out to the, well, actually we are already in the barn, but like if I have to run out to the barn really quick or anything, I can just wear my slippies right out there. Okay, Bella, just make sure you don't get any tape or any of the plastic wrapping. And if you take a bite out of my Alpaca sweater, we're going to have words. Howdy!
I'm just kind of trying to keep the donkeys from eating things in the office.
Oh, no. There's nothing in here. Listen.
Oh, man, he got good. He got good.
Yeah, Howdy got a little toasty spot as well. Less than ideal, probably. Oh, wow, she's got the paws involved now. She's really going after it. Good work, buddy. Good work. I do want you to stay away from the tape and the plastic, though, please, and thank you. So anyway.
Nick and Nature asked how they got burnt. Maybe you want to tell the story?
Well, I'll tell the story again in case it got cut off at the beginning of our live stream. But Howdy and Bella are passionate about fire. Actually, donkeys are desert animals, and so they really like to toast themselves. Sometimes when they have a bit of a higher skin parasite load, they are a little bit more passionate about toasting themselves. Hey, buddy, I just don't want you to eat the plastic, okay? How about you work on this box for a second? And in that, we were just moving the pig shelter, and we got like caught up in a bunch of privets, so we had to clip up the privet and burn it lest it spread. And as that was happening, we just lit a bonfire. And though the donkeys have been around fire literally since day one of their entire lives, for some reason this time they got a tad too close. It's perhaps because it was like, you know, this is the first cold day we've had this season. And maybe they just were a little bit too cold. Oh, don't worry, he can eat the shavings. He's passionate about shavings. All wood and wood-related products. Oh my gosh, these are such a treat. Look at these sweet slippies. I'm so excited. Oh. Really going after those boxes.
Tina Koziel asks, what is your favorite animal on the homestead? And also, what's your favorite thing to grow in the garden?
Ooh, great questions. My favorite animal is Howdy, the big one, because he was my first, like, serious, I knew that I'm in this for 40 years, lifetime animal investment. And he also has given me a real run for my money with regard to his training. But he also, like, he just is so lovable in so many ways. He has some really, really funny quirks. So he's really afraid of a lot of things. And hilariously, Bella, though she's much smaller than him, is much braver than Howdy. So she's almost like his emotional support animal. And in that, when I need Howdy to do something like pull his cart that I've trained him to pull on a road that we've never been on before, what I'll do is I'll just hook Bella's harness to his harness, and though Bella is too small to actually pull the cart herself, she'll just trot alongside him, and then Howdy will be much braver. So like, we had this one spot on our road that had a mailbox with a waving flag, and Howdy would not walk past it because he hates flags. And so all I had to do was get Bella, his emotional support donkey, to convince him that it was okay to walk past that flag, and so then he did it. My second favorite animal on the farm, not that anyone asked, is Cheddar the cow, who's the most snuggly, the most perfect, and she, not due to our own irresponsibility, her former farm, somehow she got pregnant way too early, and so she became a teen mom and is literally the most snuggly perfect cow that's ever lived. I thought Reba McEntire, my first cow, was special, but it turns out Cheddar was more special. In answer to Tina's second question, what's my very favorite thing to grow in the garden? Watermelons, and this is a real miracle, to say the least, because I picked this watermelon day before yesterday on Thanksgiving Day, because we hadn't yet had a hard frost, which is insane. Our first frost was over 2 months later this year than normal. And after, you know, a lot of issues early in the garden this year, I was super pleased to have 2 extra months in my growing season because I grew a bunch more watermelons, a ton more okra, and some other delightfulness. Adam, it sounds like you have a real honey of something to share with us.
Oh, no, this is great. I'm just laughing.
Come in here and say something else while I cut the watermelon so we all can enjoy it together. And then we can feed Howdy and Bella the rinds because they love those. Oh, sit in my seat so I'm not blocking you. Or don't. No
I'll
problem.
Just describe what's happening. She's cutting the watermelon. And the garden is put to bed for the year. Is that correct?
It is. I mean, well, we do have certain items that we grow over winter as well. But yeah, for the most part, the garden is put together or put to bed for the winter.
But spring's coming right around the corner.
Spring will be here before you know it.
We'll be making garden videos in like a month, probably.
Yes, that's true. Adam, care for some watermelon?
Sure. Ooh.
This is yellow watermelon. It's supposed to be yellow, by the way. And don't worry, these seeds are edible. Hey, Howdy, come here, buddy.
Madeline says, I keep hoping you come out with an audiobook, or better yet, a podcast.
we are actually talking about a podcast as we speak. I have been floating the idea with my friend Carson. If you've seen the What's Wrong with My Farm, where I have an expert farmer, a 5th generation farmer, come and evaluate some of the projects I've been doing on the farm. The evaluator himself, his name is Carson Ripstein of Rips Ranch on YouTube, if you want to look him up. Anyway, Carson and I have been talking about maybe doing a podcast because he's so knowledgeable about so many things, and he has a really cool radio voice, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're working on that idea. The audiobook is kind of a funny thing. Actually, I am currently writing a book. It's supposed to be completely done in February. We're actually running some cohorts that go along with it, but it's on the subject of time management, because it turns out, though I often feel like I'm not that great at managing my time, the question I get asked more than anything else online is, how do you find time to do all the things that you do? And the answers are in that book.
Yeah, you haven't talked about whether you're doing an audiobook, but I guess I assume you would, right?
Oh, absolutely, because one of the things, I talk a lot about having dyslexia here, and one of the ways that I was able to really improve my reading comprehension as an adult was by listening to audiobooks while also reading the text on page. And so it's really important to me to also have an audio version, plus knowing how many people are really busy and are going to want to read the book, but maybe won't want to sit there the whole time and
Don't you listen to your books like on 2x?
Yeah, well, I have a whole series of things I do. Yes, on first listen, first of all, here's a tip for you, not that anyone asked, but a tip is if you're into audiobooks, get the Libby app if you don't already have it. It's the library app that helps you to check out audiobooks. So anyway, I have a first listen that I do for books to decide whether or not they're worth my time. And I do listen to that on 2x. And if I find enough things in the book that I'm getting my little pad of paper to take notes out a few times during the book, then I will go and get the physical copy of the book. And then, but yes, I do listen to my audiobooks on 2x speed because, frankly, some books aren't worth the 1x.
That's crazy.
I do actually, that does remind me of a funny story though. I actually really don't like the sound of my own voice. But
it's a good thing I'm editing your videos.
Yeah, well, that was my least favorite thing about editing videos before. But it turns out, apparently my voice is very distinctive because the number of times that I've been recognized by the sound of my voice. Oh, Mom's here with the cookies. Oh, praise be.
Hey, come on in.
Hey, come on in. Come say hello. The number of times I've been recognized in bathrooms because of my voice, which, by the way, sounds exactly like Mom of All Trades' voice.
For you, Annie.
I am very excited. Is not small. I have gotten recognized by my voice so many times, it's not even funny. So apparently it's distinctive. Oh, that's the one I was going to take. You can have it.
Here.
No. Thanks, Mom.
The watermelon's yummy.
So here is the hero of all things farm, family, and basically the person who taught me all of the homesteading stuff before we actually homesteaded. We were just talking about this the other day, but I learned how to bake bread, how to can, how to grow a garden, all those things, even when we lived in a rental house without a farm as a kid, and that gave me a major leg up. And Mom of All Trades taught me everything. Hey, by the way, I'm glad you're here because Howdy and Bella just opened up
I'll take that.
one of your Christmas presents.
Oh, yeah. They're going to town on those boxes.
Ooh, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Hey, I'll take it.
There.
Here, Adam, you do the honors while I finish my cookie. Mom and Dad are visiting for the holidays, and we are. Oh, look at that! See, she's a real farmer. She's got
Look at that.
knife right in her pocket.
I'm gonna pull
Look
an
at Bella.
Animal Trades on the live stream and cut my hand off.
Absolutely not. You're not even making nachos.
I don't. Get back, Bella.
Bella's eyeing that box. So, Mom, I have two things
Wow,
that
look
I'm
at this.
so excited about for you.
That's a lot of cool stuff.
There is. So the first thing is right here on top. So I have a lot of sensory issues, and my mom often wears a wool sweater that I do not like the way that it feels when oh yeah, it's under one more layer. Yeah, I don't like the way that feels, but Duluth makes sweaters out of alpaca fiber, which is both water repellent, hypoallergenic, and
So cool.
so soft. And so I can now sit next to my mom on the couch again
Yay.
without hearing the fibers of her sweater rubbing against each other to my emotional distress. So
Annie does not like the sound of certain textures being rubbed.
Certainly not.
that's
corduroy.
true. I have a
Here, hold this.
lifelong fear of the fabric corduroy. There's
this is
not a
cool.
medical term for it.
I'm sure there is. There's like a medical term for every phobia.
But, oh, the cookies are so good.
What were we just doing before this podcast? I mean, before this live stream. Before the donkeys burned themselves.
Right before the donkeys caught themselves on fire, we were moving the pigs. So the pigs are currently clearing the forest. Oh, good. While you have your hat off, you can also examine my handiwork. I just gave my mom a haircut. But, yeah, we were moving the pigs. The pigs are clearing a spot behind the barn so that I have a spot for the cows in the summertime to have shade in the forested area right behind our house, which our neighbor is very generously letting us use. But the weather's getting cold, and so we needed to move the pigs to a spot where they had more wind shelter.
Look at this.
Oh, that's great.
Ooh, that looks great. And then the other one is actually another thing to replace the hat you were just wearing, which also makes a not good sound when you're walking.
Well, it's also.
We don't need to touch it anymore. No. And this is a hat for you to wear instead.
There.
Oh.
All set for winter.
So
Oh.
that was great. Adam, also, I got you a new hat because
That's great.
Adam is very particular about pills, like fabric pills. And so he had one hat that he's had for like 3 or 4 years that is too pilly now. So that's for you. And sorry to say that the rest of these are for me, but also excited to share that the rest of these are for me. These are the overalls that were on like massive clearance. I think these were $30, if I remember correctly. And I don't know if you've watched many of our recent YouTube videos, but these overalls are my favorite for so many reasons. They have a specific cell phone pocket. I hate having a cell phone in my back pocket. They are cool for the summer months, which is quite important here. It's very toasty in the summer. It's apparently very toasty in the winter too, Howdy and Bella's bellies will say. But anyway, I'm very excited about that.
On a diet.
This is my favorite color. Well, it's adjacent to my favorite color, which is purple. And then also very exciting because I'm obsessed with Christmas. Check this out. It's like Duluth made a overall just for me. Did you see these?
Oh, what is it? Is that?
It's alpaca
Did they?
Christmas overalls.
The best of the best. Christmas and alpacas all rolled into one.
It's literally
That's hilarious.
made for me. So that's very, very exciting.
Those
so
are the gardening overalls, right?
they are the gardening,
Yeah.
I think they're called the gardening bibs,
Yes.
if we're being technical. Also, I got myself a Christmas folklore shirt. Again, I have a really funny thing about fabrics, but the Duluth legendary softness is on the label, and it is, yeah. Anyway, so I'm very, very excited because this is a flannel that is the correct fabric to touch my skin without having to wear an undershirt, which I also don't like wearing
That's
undershirts because the neck touches my neck and I don't like that. So this is really, really great. Yay! Okay, so huge thanks to Duluth for making of these videos possible, but also thanks to Howdy and Bella for making this such a fun experience. I'm gonna eat another cookie while we...
Did you talk about the pig palace being moved? Sorry.
Oh, well, I did say that the pigs were being moved, but then I will say that the pig palace has gone under many different iterations, and it recently had to undergo repairs because Howdy actually ate the roof off of the pig palace. Again, thank you, corn subsidies, but a lot of roofing materials are now Howdy. At first, I was terrified because when I saw that he'd eaten half of a shingle roof, I was sure that he was going to have some kind of medical emergency, but it's been 6 months. Everything's fine. He's still alive, and we moved the pig shelter, which was not a small feat because it's supposed to be lifted. I made it so that the forks of my tractor could lift it, but unfortunately where the pigs are currently located is not accessible by my tractor, and so we had to figure out a way to move it by hand. And I brilliantly, on the fly, came up with the suggestion that we should move it just like the covenant of the Ark of the Covenant by putting 4 poles in it. I think Bella just found the cookies. Oh no.
Oh.
She found my wool sweater.
Ah, well, help yourself.
There. Very generous, Jeremy. Super chat.
Jeremy, oh my gosh. You are so kind. Holy cow, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Well,
Nice.
Jeremy, I will tell you right now that this is going to go to very good use because as of tomorrow evening, the cavalry is arriving to help us get to the next stage of the school. The School of All Trades, the school building I've been working on building for the last 5 years, with the initial opening date of May of 2020. We're right on target. We got ripped off by a contractor who was supposed to help us eliminate one of the inspections that we needed to get to move on with the school, but instead took my check and ran with it after screwing up a whole bunch of the framing. So we are having our friend Austin, who's also bringing another couple friends, down to the school. They gave me a very, very fair estimate to fix the framing that was screwed up by the contractor that ripped us off. And so this is so
Also
exciting.
very good friends as well.
Oh yeah, literally our best friends.
Should probably mention that.
Oh yes, in fact, Austin's wife Rachel is of the I Like Cows Cup fame. Anyway, they're coming, and so we're really, really excited about
Also,
them
they
coming.
helped me build the guitar last.
Oh yes, they did. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about your guitar build and
Well-
your amp build.
Yes, we built a 57 Fender Deluxe for my kit. And then we built a Telecaster, a 50s Telecaster. It was great. Mm-hmm. And then we were going to do a Les Paul and a...
Don't say it as if it's past tense.
Jazz
You are
choir.
going to do a Les Paul because Adam commandeered a very generous guitar that my very dear friend gifted to me, and Adam took it from me, and he said, "This guitar is too big for your body. It looks ridiculous when you play it. I will make you a littler version of it." And that was sitting on my workbench for nearly 1 year, in my way, not being worked on.
I was making her a Jaguar, like an offset guitar, but it just didn't happen.
I mean,
It'll happen.
in
Well,
Adam's defense, it didn't happen because we were going to be working on it while I was finishing a whole bunch of chairs, and then I went ahead and stabbed myself in the hand.
The
then-
problem is I got overly ambitious and was going to wind my own pickups, but I soon realized like how ridiculously frustrating winding your own pickups is, and so that stalled the whole
No,
build.
this is great.
But
Yeah, he didn't like the material that you used to wind the electrical wire for the pickups
It's
is basically
so
thinner
thin.
than a human hair. I will say though that
So you could be winding, you could be like 5,000 winds into the thing, and then it will snap. And like you have
to start over.
You basically have to start over. Or I mean, you can kind of like tie it off or like solder it together again, but it's like such a pain.
So no problem, but I did actually invent a tool for him to help wind them without breaking the string. I used a bunch of parts from my drum cymbals, and I strung together this very cool little fixture to help him do that better. But I think that, like, listen, I can't ever blame anyone, because I think that any project, once you stop working on it, my friend Pete says this, and I love it. Once you stop working on a project, it starts to turn to stone. And that is seriously so true, because the number of projects that I've started that I'm like, oh, I'll, just pick it up and work on it later. And then one thing leads to another, and it's just too much. Hey, Howdy Boy, do you want some watermelon rinds? How about it?
Thank you. What fun for presents.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I will.
Howdy Boy. Come here, Buster.
I will see you later.
Love you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the cookies, too.
Welcome for the cookies. Merry
Howdy.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Howdy.
Oh, he likes rinds.
Howdy loves rinds.
Oop.
Oops, dropped a little. Bella. You want some rinds, buddy?
Those sounds.
I hate the sound of humans eating, but like there is literally nothing better than the sound of animals eating. Come here. Bella. Come here. Come here. Come here. There it is. Adam's putting his microphone close.
Here, feeling it again.
Remember that every time you move that, it makes a lot of noises in people's ears. Oh, she doesn't have one. Howdy does. Here. Bella, come here.
This is a little ASMR part of the live stream that we do every time.
Yeah, this is the only kind you're going to get, because you're never getting any of that from me, because that's disgusting. There's sounds. Hand me another piece, Bubby. Here, wait. Howdy, you have to wait for me. Oh no, you'll clean it up. It's okay.
If somebody's like just tuning in now, they're probably so confused.
That's actually, I don't even want to clarify. I just want to let them be confused. Okay, buddies, you dropped some on the ground. Pick it up. Pick it up. Oh no, you just drooled on my sweatshirt. Here, it's down here. Nope, don't eat my sweater. Oh no, don't get it on the wall or my bookshelf. Oh, she almost ate your microphone.
She thought it was like a blackberry.
Well, because she thinks that you're feeding her. You're a tease.
Ooh.
More than anything. Look at his little teeth. Ah! Oh my Lanta. Here, Bubby. Okay,
Anyways.
I'll get you some, Bella. Anyway.
I think it's been pretty productive, though. You've done the school stuff. You've done.
Are we back? Are we done with the donkey talk? And now we're
hard pivot on top.
hard pivot. Okay, great.
So you did the school.
Pick it up off the floor, buddy.
The school's gonna start progressing.
Yes.
You've moved the pig palace.
We moved the pig palace. We're clearing the woods. That's cool.
You're clearing the woods. You just finished this. Well, you're almost finished this secret door. I don't know if you've talked about this, but.
I don't think I have. Actually, this is fairly exciting for. All right, I think we can let the donkeys go out so that we can actually share some information. Although I do think that this.
They can hang out.
They can hang out? Okay. This is my secret door. So.
You can't really. You
can.
Yeah,
you're about to be able to tell. So, this is a secret door that's in the wall, and it actually goes upstairs, which that upstairs did not formerly exist, but now it does. And so this all started because when we moved here, this barn, wait, by the way, we're in my goat barn. This is my office, and just making sure everything's on the up and up over there.
Yeah, people were wondering where you are.
We're in the goat barn. This is my office, which is like, so.
It's split in two, basically.
Yeah. So here's the barn. We're on this side of the barn, and then the goats are in the middle and the second half. And then when we moved here, there was a hayloft, except for it was a completely useless hayloft because there was no access point. There was just a little hole and a ladder up into it, but there was no way to put hay into it, and all it was just like a floor. And so I was like, well, this is useless in every way, so I wanted to turn it into a little extra office space slash, actually, I mean, oh, here, this is too bright right here. Let me just move it a little bit. Whoop, there we go. I wanted to turn the upstairs into kind of an extension of my office because my office is in every way like my tree fort. All of my favorite things are down here, like my wood shop tools, my hand tools, and that kind of stuff. But I've been taking drum lessons, and so I wanted to bring a drum set down here. And because during goat breeding season, goat baby season, kidding season, hi English, I know it. I was having to sleep on a cot on my floor, not because I actually had to, but because I wanted to always be here for the goat births because we raise really little goats, and so there's always a potential for issues, but generally speaking, they know what to do. I just don't want to miss out on the magic of baby goats being born. So I was sleeping on a floor, sleeping on a cot on the floor in here, and that seemed ridiculous when there was all that square footage upstairs. So for $500, I'm so proud of this. For $500, I used completely recycled building products, like even down to discounted paint from Home Depot. And I was able to literally build an apartment. So that little door right here opens up to the stairwell, which takes you upstairs. And I was able to create a temperature controlled, insulated, drywalled, amazing space up there that also, by the way, now has a bed, so I don't have to sleep on the floor like a peasant. And you can actually see the space up there. In what video was that? Is the Weeds Are Good video?
Weeds are good, yeah.
Okay, so if you want to see
Weeds
this,
are the answer to your garden problems.
yes, if you want to see the space, which we'll show you all at some point anyway, because we'll make a video about like how cool this whole thing is at some point. But go check out the Weeds Are the Answer to Your Garden Problems video, because during the ad spot in that video, there is a spot where we talk about that space.
Yeah.
And one more funny thing before we move on from that topic. I am a problem solver. I carry a little notepad in my pocket all the time, and anytime I come up with a friction point or something that's like a little bit uncomfortable or inconvenient, rather than allowing myself to get really TO'd about it, I just write it down, and then during my evenings, I go on this little walk with all my animals around the farm, and I think about all the things that I'm grateful for. And then after I've thought about all the things I'm grateful for, I pull my little list out and I start working on my problems to solve. In that, I wanted to create a doorway up to my secret area that actually felt like you were going into a tree fort, and that's where the idea of the hidden door came from. But here's where a very funny thing happened. I consistently have an issue with measuring or like knowing how big things are going to be or whatever. So anytime that there's dimensions involved, it's ripe for disaster. So case in point, I didn't fully understand how the hardware on this, oops, oh, okay, I'll take that. I didn't fully understand how the hardware on this door worked. Oh no, I just stepped in a watermelon. Oh, just kidding, it's fine. And the door opening is 26 inches. But I thought for some reason that the door like came out of that, but as it turns out, the door opening is actually 9 inches. So I really have to think skinny thoughts as I get like barely through this hole to be able to go upstairs, but you know, that I just thought was a really funny thing to share with everyone. By the way, the hardware, etc., is from Murphy Door. You can check them out if you're interested in something like that. This is the best hardware like I've ever found for Murphy Doors. We're actually building a speakeasy in the school at some point, and we will be using this exact same hardware. So this was a great like test case for that.
Okay,
All
really
right,
quick.
moving on.
I want to read. We have some very generous super chats. I just
Oh,
want to catch
man.
up. So of course, Jeremy, thank you, super generous. As we talked about earlier, Eric PNW says $5 to give Donkey. I'm glad to support
Please,
the channel.
God, my lint. Sorry. That hug got a little aggressive. But thank you for that. I think we all enjoyed it.
Kathleen O'Malley says, grateful for the opportunity to help out. Blessings.
Thank you so
Kathleen.
much. By the way, all super chats today are going towards the Austin and his team coming to help us fix the framing
school.
in the school.
DC.
Hey, I think not.
Oh, it's eating my hat.
He's trying to go for the cookies, but he
Oh.
can't quite reach them. All right, let's take him out. Oh, don't put it on the watermelon, silly. Howdy. Okay, Bubby, come on. Come on, Howdy. Come on, Bella. You want to go outside? Come on, buddies. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, little buddies. Come on, Howdy. Here we go. Thank you so much for being here. Oh,
Whoop.
all right. Here you go, Bub. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, Bella.
Okay, there they go.
Come on, Bella.
Oh, very
Here we
good.
go. There we go. Good job, you guys. Love you.
All right, we're back.
And there we go. There we go.
Okay, DCB says, can you make a calendar with Howdy and the gang, monthly picks and stuff? Happy holidays.
Oh, I love that idea. Actually, we used to do that every year. And
You did a calendar for a few years.
Howdy is literally has his face pressed up against the glass and is breathing on it. He wants back in. Here, you can scoot your chair back almost like you like me now.
Okay.
And we can call you Tiny Tim. What did you do to my microphone? No problem.
Yes.
Yes? I thought you were reading.
No, that was it.
Okay, great. Well, then in that case, let's talk
Yeah, so let's talk maybe
about the clay situation.
what
Okay.
Clay's situation.
This.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So I will give my side of the story.
Okay, great.
We just thought this was funny. So
Don't squeeze that, by the way.
I have like this. So I do the videography and the editing for the channel, and I have like there's a lot of dust in the air, and so I'm like constantly like blowing off the lenses from dust and like keeping the camera, trying to keep it clean. And I have like this really cheap like $2 like blower thing, and I was like, I'm gonna treat myself, and I'm gonna go on Amazon and get like a nicer blower because this one was like falling apart. And I got like this $15 one. I was like really excited, and then it came like a month ago, but like I don't know what happened to it.
Well, you looked on Amazon. It said it was delivered.
It said it was delivered, but I never saw the thing, and I just kind of like didn't think twice about it. And then, but I did see this on the counter. It was a powder spray bottle, and I just kind of figured Amazon sent the wrong one because that does happen. And then I kept meaning to ask Annie about it, but I just forgot. Anyways, I just found out today what happened, and so you can explain your side of the story.
So my side of the story is I going back to my love of solving problems, paired with an absolute hatred for shopping. So I discovered earlier this year that I could use Redmond. Redmond, like we talk about Redmond all the time. They're another one of our sponsors for the channel, and we absolutely love their salt for the animals and for humans. We also use tons of other products. One of the products that we use for the animal is called conditioner. And we put the conditioner in, trust me, this is related, but it gets, like, the way it's related is quite funny. The conditioner we put in a lot of the animals' feed, which ironically, like, we'll put it in the pig feed, and it's a toxin binder. It's like all of these things. We also put this same product in our pond to seal our pond. As it turns out, it also has a lot of medicinal uses. I've started brushing my teeth with this very same clay. I also have replaced my formerly very chemical-ridden dry shampoo with using clay.
Wait, is this, we're talking about...
Yes. Hello.
This is too much
We're
background.
right there. No, it's not, because this is related. I'm telling you. So I use my hair is really difficult because, and so I've tried like squish thing for like baby powder, but it just didn't, it just would get the powder everywhere. And so I finally found this product on Amazon, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect, because when I squeeze it, like you fill it with the clay and then you squeeze it, and so then this can be like a dry shampoo spreader. Well, it turns out I ordered this
Like literally the exact same day.
on the same day that Adam ordered this. And then, so I opened the box and I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't know what this little tip thing's for, but whatever. I was like, this is great. I can now really direct the spray. The only problem is it comes out of the side holes. And I was immediately like, this is not in any way what I wanted, because I want the clay to come out of this hole right here so I can direct it. But anyway, so after I got clay kind of like all over my bathroom, when I was getting ready for the live stream just now, in my kitchen / bathroom, which is right here, another wonderful addition down in my office that I have very proudly made, Adam saw me using my dry shampoo spreader, and he was like, what the hell? That's for the camera. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Ruined it.
I didn't ruin it. This is water soluble. I'll clean it out. It's great. I just have to unscrew this and wash it. It'll be great. And then you can use it for your camera. And mercifully, this thing looks like it's much better suited for the job that I was hoping to use it for. So here we are with a really funny, like, what are the chances of that? Because first of all, I never buy anything, but and Adam is usually the culprit of online shopping, but we bought nearly identical products for very, very different reasons on the same day, and I accidentally stole his, and his really disappointed me. But for good reason, because this is not the right thing, and this is absolutely the right thing. So we, you know,
wow.
that was a funny thing.
Black's Tropical Homestead Super
Oh,
Chat
hey!
says, we love and appreciate you guys.
We love and appreciate you too.
Thank you for the super chat. That's very nice of you
That
guys.
really is. Okay, so side note, if you have not checked out Black's Tropical Homestead channel,
That'd be great.
please do. We've been trying to help them a little bit with some of their video ideas and things like that, but like literally just because they are the best humans that we know.
You actually hung out with them in Utah.
Yeah, so when I went
When you went
to
to Redmond.
I have gotten so excited about the medicinal benefits of clay and salt for humans for animals, and then incidentally found out that a lot of these things, of course, just apply to humans as well, that I literally wanted to go to the...
And this is probably an upcoming video, too.
Yes, it is, yes. We're going to be talking a lot more about this. Plus, if we do the podcast with Carson, we'll talk a lot about that, too. But anyway, I wanted to go to the place where the clay comes from and the salt mine. Oh, I had my salt lick. I now have a human salt lick, by the way, which we'll talk more about that later.
And I make fun of her.
Yes, he
for
makes
it
fun of me every day.
She's like a cow, basically.
Yes.
Licking salt out of a lick.
Listen, if you had the benefits that I've had, you would be doing it too. although that might be a tad too crunchy for you. But all this to say
Maybe.
that I went to the salt mine, and Black's Tropical Homestead was also there, and that's where we got to know each other. And truly, like, listening, like, I have never met two more beautiful humans in my life. I absolutely love you guys. Like, listening to them reflect on the trip, they spoke with so much gratitude and so much, like, just joy that bubbled over. It was so infectious. And, like, why am I getting emotional here? But anyway, we really like them a lot. And we've asked that after all of the chaos of our current revolving door of visitors that we've had with them, and talk about their urban homestead that they're doing in the middle of the city. So anyway, thank you all so much for the super chat, but also we love Redmonds.
We do.
Which actually leads me to, did you move? Oh no, there they are. We'll talk about that later. We can talk about it.
Right now.
Okay, great. We'll talk about it right now. Adam is very excited to tell you about a couple other
No,
things.
I'm laughing because in the chat they mentioned a competitor, but
Who?
Jeremy.
What? LMNT?
Yeah.
Jeremy, I need to tell you right now that I myself used to be drinking that poison. And then I found out that, like,
Those are
where...
strong words.
Sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. Where you get your salt really matters. You know how pretty much everyone in the U.S. has been led to believe that salt is really bad for your health and that you shouldn't be eating it? And I would agree that most salt products are. Like, if you have heart issues, if you have blood pressure, the first advice that they give you is to stop eating salt.
Well,
And that is because the white salt that we have been told is salt, NaCl, has been stripped of everything in favor of profit.
by the way, Annie will tell anybody who starts talking about anything to do with salt, she will go on a long speech about this. So I've heard this speech many, many times.
Well,
But she's very passionate about salt, and I think it's great.
I hope that it sinks in. Anyway, all that to say that check to see where your salt is coming from and what they're doing to it, because I will tell you right now, LMNT salt is not coming from a great place. You know what is coming from a great place? Redmonds.
I feel like we need like a legal disclaimer somewhere.
No, after 30 minutes of donkey chaos, no one is going to still be watching. Don't worry.
That's probably true.
I think we're safe. But anyway, all that to say that I will give you the very, very quick version of why you really need to be careful where your salt comes from. So I think a lot of us have probably heard that sea salt is better than just white table salt, and that is for sure true. But also, what happens to all of the recycling and garbage that we are mailing to China? They are throwing it directly into the ocean, as humans have been doing for the last untold number of years. And sea salt that is being currently produced is basically dehydrated garbage water. So do we want to be drinking those salt crystals that have 4,000 years of human trash soaking in it? Or would we like to get salt that was deposited by an ancient ocean, sea, 150 million years ago in the Jurassic era, like Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs, that was untouched by humans. And then because of the shifting of the tectonic plates, that salt deposit was forced directly up to where humans could access it simply by scraping it off the walls of the deposit instead of other salt mining, which there are other ancient sea salt deposits. However, those sea salt deposits are like this, and they have to be dug down to. They have to be resalinated, which means sprayed with water, and then dehydrated. In that dehydration process, a lot of companies are removing a lot of the nutrients that should remain in our salts, healthier as individuals, and we'll save the rest of that TED Talk for later, but all that to say that Redmond is one of 2 places in the world that has a salt mine like this. The other places in Bolivia,
Interesting.
Provo, Utah was a little closer, so I wanted to go see it myself.
I go to Bolivia though too.
I also would go to Bolivia, but I mean, I'm also probably going to trust that, health and safety standards.
That's true.
If literally what you're doing is scraping it off the wall and putting it into a bag and sending it out for human and animal consumption, probably going to trust what happens in Utah a little more. Maybe I'll change my mind. So I would genuinely love to go see how things are done in Bolivia. Regardless, we love Redmond products for that reason, but they're coming out with a whole bunch of really cool, fun stuff, some of which Adam is really enjoying. I myself really love the Relight Immunity products. They're coming out with a kids line that's organic of the same Relight product that uses good night in heaven. I just uses a different sugar product, which literally the name of which just left my head. And so anyway, we'll talk about that later too. But anyway, they have now hydration pills you can take, which I initially laughed about, but then I tried them and they are incredible. I initially was like, why would we take a pill? You haven't. I got those for you. That's why it's unopened. And then they also have Relight Energy, which you can talk about this because you use this while you edit videos.
Oh yeah, this is I have a routine when I edit videos, and it involves like a drink mix, and it has energy in it. It also involves chewing lots of Trident sugar-free gum, which Annie hates.
Well, I love that you love
and
chewing gum, but I just don't like the sound it makes when
routine. Headphones in, Trident sugar-free gum, Redmond Relight.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Good videos. I mean, can we all agree that the videos have improved by about 150,000% since Adam started doing the video stuff?
We make a good team.
We do. So that concludes that. But I seriously, when we found this out earlier, I was laughing so hard because truly, I just want to show one more time how ridiculous this is. I generally, my dad calls himself an unofficial product tester. We can talk about that another time, but it involves him buying and returning a whole lot of things. I generally have really swung on the pendulum the other way due to trauma as a result of having to stand in the return line with my dad and feeling absolutely shamed by it. But all that to say that this product, I was ready to go to war over the fact that this idiotic product shoots the thing out of the sides instead of the nozzle.
It's the camera accessory.
Well, now I know.
Anyways, all right, topic shift.
Okay, topic shift.
Speaking of the videos, we have a few, there's been a few videos that have come out, and Annie has a few thoughts based off of the comments that have come out, or maybe reflecting on the videos that she'd like to address really quick. Nothing serious, but...
Never serious.
Never
when
serious.
It's me.
So the last video we just did was goats. Please do not get goats. I think Annie and I both agreed, some of the funniest comments we've read on a video in a while.
Yeah, we really liked the comments on that video. Also, please, if you haven't watched it already, even if you never intend to go get a goat, that and the please don't get a donkey video are to me, my crowning achievement as a content creator. That theme, I generally don't like the negative, the negative thoughts or the negative leaning title thumbnail game. And I definitely don't ever want any of my videos to feel like or be clickbait. But both of those videos were aimed basically directly at online comments that I get all the time from people that are just oh my God, I want to get a donkey, I want to get a baby goat and I want to put it in pajamas and...
What impression is that?
No, listen to the impression, then you'll understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a baby goat and I'm going to put it in pajamas and keep it in the second story of my apartment. It's going to be a house pet. Or I want a donkey because, like, donkeys are really cute and, like, I want to snuggle it all day. And I'm like, well, how big is your yard? And, like, what kind of job are you going to give it? And, like, do you have the next 40 years planned out? Because, like, you should probably do that before you get an animal. And then
first
ruin
of all,
it for the rest of us.
It's a great PSA. Second of all, it's not clickbait because in the video you say you can't just have one donkey. So
that is true.
So you're saying please get a donkey. Please do not get a donkey.
Yeah, but I also give a lot of other reasons why people shouldn't get donkeys unless they're prepared. And, like, that's the thing is, like, same thing with goats. Like, don't get a goat unless you're prepared to have a goat. And so it's a lot of you know, suggestions about how to be better prepared.
Jonathan Miller says that impression was a barista voice.
Oh, I'll let you say it for me. I myself know a lot of baristas who don't talk like that. But I also know a few that do, so just saying that. I think that tracks.
Anyways, okay. But you did misspeak in the goat
yeah.
video.
Oh, that is one thing that I wanted to say. So in the first maybe 2 minutes of the goat video, I misspoke. And I said that, like, don't get a goat if you're expecting it to be a lawnmower because goats eat brush and diverse forage that grows above shoulder height. And I said, in that, goats are grazers, not browsers, which is the exact opposite of what I meant to say. And I definitely corrected it a few sentences later. But one of my favorite things about the internet is that people, and I truly actually think this is coming from good motivations, like people just want to be helpful. At least that's what I tell myself so that I don't get annoyed with, like, constant correction. But anyway, the number of comments that, though I said the correct thing, just a few sentences later, that are like, goats are browsers, not grazers, was a lot. It was definitely not none. And also we reading the comment section also got a lot of really good, very funny goat name suggestions for future goats from people telling stories about their own personal horror stories about former goat nightmares that they had. One of Adam's favorites was Dum Dum.
That's a good goat name.
Yeah, that is a good goat name. But the funny thing is, that person was talking about how their goat, you know, wreaked havoc on their life. But one of the things that it had done was drink paint. And I was like, I forgot to tell in the video that my goat, Dolly Parton, also drank paint once. And, like, among about 1,000 other things that she tried to do to unalive herself.
Basically, Annie and I's text conversation after any video release is basically just screenshots back and forth with funny comments.
Yes.
Or, like, unhinged comments.
Which there also are a lot of those, but we also have a pretty good filtration system for comments. And so I should also say too that, like, when I'm talking to a lot of people who want to start making videos, one of the first concerns that they have, and one of their largest concerns, is that they're really afraid what people will say about them, or, like, what kind of negative comments they'll get. And I definitely shared that fear when I first got into content creation, but it was also one that I realized very quickly I was going to have to conquer, because truly, like, it is unbelievable what a stranger on the internet will feel inclined to tell you, not realizing perhaps that they're talking directly to you. But
I think you have a very good attitude about negative comments. I don't know that I've seen you get actually bothered by a negative comment before. I'm sure you did probably when you first started doing
in the beginning. But in the beginning, for sure.
At this point, I only see you laughing at them, which I think is a very...
With that is that, like, the way that I've learned how to completely shift my mindset about negative comments is I've just made it part of my daily routine to try, I'm constantly looking for a comment that bests the last one.
We actually probably, the more unhinged, probably the funnier.
Yeah,
Annie and I.
The more absolutely awful or unhinged, the funnier that it gets for both of us. And so that's, like, now part of our daily practice is when we're drinking coffee together in the morning, we look at there's a section in YouTube, you can actually put, like, a do not show comments publicly that contain these words. And these words at this point is over.
Also, YouTube just by default has filters for what it thinks might be.
Yeah.
Like,
YouTube,
might
like if
be
it's
bad.
cuss words or like maybe if it's offensive to women, those kinds of things. Like there's a filter that will automatically filter those and put them in your held for review section.
So it's not the post. Basically, what it means is the comment doesn't go live until you approve it, and so it goes like in this like purgatory thing.
Yeah.
And those are like what Andy's saying is those are some of the juiciest comments you'll read is because they're usually pretty unhinged. Not all the time, but like usually.
Yeah, and then the thing is that you can also add to the list of words that are not acceptable for immediately published content or comments. So the list of words that I have that will automatically put comments in the held for review section is now like 7.5 pages long, because every time I encounter a comment that it's like, oh, they use this word in a way that like is followed usually by something that's really offensive, or like that, like, because like the real thing of it, that this all started with knowing that a bunch of kids watch our channel, and I don't ever want kids to, like, I don't want parents to ever feel unsafe having their kids on our videos, like whether it be in the comments section or anything else. But as it turns out, now I've gotten so good at like finding the words around a lot of the really offensive things people will say. So I've made that thing so long and so extensive that now
basically like she's created like a blacklist
of words, yeah.
Of words that will sideline comments for review. And she's created like this really long list.
Yeah, and now that's what we do every morning when we're drinking coffee together, is we like read the held for review section, and it's like become the best part of our day.
It's a decent source of our entertainment at this
Get
point.
the popcorn.
Yeah. The other videos we did were the story of Milk Dud, which...
Okay, the very fact that you changed the thumbnail and the title, I mean, I understand why you did it, but
because
here's the
nobody was watching it.
Yes. Well, yes. But the funny thing about that video, so we made this video about a tiny goat that was born here just over a month ago. Like, truly tiny. And we were making this video about this goat, but then I was like, well, this goat weighed 0.1 pounds more than a goat that was born here in 2020 named Milk Dud. And so we started talking about Milk Dud in the video. And it was so funny because if any of you were here back in the days of Milk Dud was at that point, she was the smallest baby goat that had ever been like documented being born. And she was so cute, and she nearly died so many times. And she was born the first week of the shutdown because of the pandemic. And she gave all of us so much joy. And like, we were all on the edge of our seats, like just hoping she was going to be okay and all these things. And I had to bring her in the house. She like slept in our bed. Adam didn't know about that until later. But anyway, it was just, Milk Dud was super, super precious. And tons of people absolutely loved her. And anyway, she, as a result, became a total spoiled brat, like the worst, the worst. She was the worst. And anyway, we started talking about her in that video, and basically the video became about Milk Dud. So Adam ended up changing.
We literally weren't even planning on talking.
Yeah, we weren't even going to talk about her because we were actually making a video about this other tiny goat that was just born, and like the whole birth story.
But the video ended up being 50% Milk Dud.
Yeah, so Adam changed the title and the thumbnail to be the story of Milk Dud, and I was like, wait, all of a sudden, little tiny Turner doesn't even get like a headline in the video that was made about her, and I was like, classic Milk Dud, stealing the show. So I just wanted to laugh about that.
And then the other video that we released since our last live stream was The Big Lie of Modern Homesteading.
Oh yeah, which
people seem to very much like. We really much enjoyed making that one.
Yeah, that I think was the Big Lie of Modern Homesteading was.
We put a lot of effort into videos, but I think we put a lot of heart into that one. We put a lot into that one.
Yeah.
So I was glad to see that people really liked it.
Just as like a casual side note, we have never released a video that we've spent less than 80 hours working on. And the Big Lie of Modern Homesteading is definitely one that took a lot more than 80 hours, but it was worth it. And If you haven't watched that video, I would highly encourage it. I think it's one of the better messages that we've ever had, and the comment section in that video is like so positive, and we absolutely loved it. The funny thing, same vein as the held for review section, one of the funniest things about that video, about the comment section in that video, is you can tell the people that are commenting, like, that are like, they're watching the first 1 minute of the video and then leaving, because their comments are literally like basically going against all of the things that the entire video is in fact going against, because we talk about those things in the first 30 seconds of the video. And so they're basically like saying, you're an idiot, like this, like the real answer to all those problems that you're talking about is blank. And it's like, yo, that's literally what the whole video is about. But thank you for letting us all know that you watched 45 seconds of the video and nothing else. But also, at least they had the decency to, in their desire to be helpful, leave a comment, which helps our metrics overall.
There you go.
So there's that. Those are the recent videos. We have been putting out fewer videos than in times past, but actually it's literally because of just trying to put so much more into them. And then also because we have so much other stuff going on in the background that we aren't necessarily making videos about, which right back here. Boop. Wait, how do I? Dyslexia is really great. My friend Dustin Penner, who also has a YouTube channel, it's called DP Make Stuff. He just came down from Canada for a week, for the week of Thanksgiving, though it was kind of funny because he actually didn't really realize it was our Thanksgiving week, but we had the time off, so it was perfect. But he came down for Thanksgiving week to build chairs with me, and this was kind of my first time really back in the workshop now that my lobster claw is like fully functional again.
She injured her hand last year, for people who don't know.
Oh yes, there was a nacho incident and I lost function of my index and thumb for a long time, and now all function, etc., is fully returned, aside from the fact that I can no longer feel my thumb, which I was pounding nails the other day, hit myself in the thumb, not even a problem, couldn't feel it, it was great. I can't give 2 thumbs up anymore, but I think that that's kind of funny. And everything else is totally good. So anyway, I was very excited to have the mobility and the strength and all that stuff to do a woodworking project again. And as such, Dustin and I endeavored to make, initially, the idea was we're going to make 4 chairs in 4 days, which is not possible for one person to do, but it is possible for 2 people to do. But then while we were prepping the parts, my friend Greg Pennington, who taught me to build chairs, generously said, hey, I would love to help you guys with this project. And so we're like, oh great, well then we'll do 6 chairs. So we started prepping all of the parts for 6 chairs. But then Greg had a family emergency and got called away from the project. So that's like the moment that happened, we should have adjusted our plan and said, okay, we're going back to 4 chairs. But because I am who I am, I was like, whatever, we have already got the parts cut. Let's just like try to do it. So hilariously, we failed in even finishing one chair. However, this chair is literally 15 minutes from being done. Had the donkeys not caught fire before this live stream, I would have had that glued up for Adam to sit in during this live stream, because that was the plan. Plans change, and that's okay. But like all 6 chairs, ironically, like are so close to being done. It just sucks that we weren't able to actually do the glue ups before Dustin left. So he didn't, like, I'm gonna have to do some stupid Photoshop or something of Dustin and I with our 6 chairs after I finish them. But yeah, that's what we were doing this week. And then so yeah, prepping the school to have the framing stuff done, working on the Hayloft project, doing farm stuff. There's a bunch of other really, really cool farm projects that we're doing. Really get our grass project going. The pond project is moving right along. We have garden expansion, orchard expansion, and we just we were able to, though we are like now finally have gotten past the bovine leukosis issues, the BLV stuff that we were dealing with the dairy cows. We've finally got a good group of girls again, dairy cows, and in that we had moved from selling milk to doing yogurt because yogurt is a more profitable product, and in that we were able to take some of the, I hesitate to call them products because farming is not a super profitable endeavor, but we took some of the income from the yogurt sales, which were significantly more than just the normal milk sales, and we put it into renovating the dairy barn, which is like, we had a bunch of neighbors contribute their effort and their labor or materials, like leftover materials that they had or whatever, to make it very, very affordable. But the improvements are pretty dang cool. And actually, you can see a lot of them in the Big Lie of Modern Homesteading video because we used the milking barn as the stage for that video. So if you want to see the barn improvements, those are, yeah. So there's been a lot going on.
B Mellow Yellow says a 2 thumbs up t-shirt would be funny with a picture of your hands and only 1 thumb up.
Oh, I love that idea. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm gonna write that down on our list. Where did you put, oh, the donkey chaos did create a few hiccups in my system here. I have to go find another notepad.
Oh,
here we go. Good.
Annie has this system with sticky notes, and there's literally sticky notes everywhere.
Well, not necessarily everywhere, because actually you can't see them due to the brilliance of the design of those reversible boards back there, because sometimes it's too stressful to look at all the chaos. But well, we don't need to go into a TED talk about time management right now, but good news, this will all be in my book soon, so great. 2 thumbs up t-shirt. With 1 thumb up. Oh, well, since I have my pad handy, I can show you that actually one of the note cards on today's to-do list was to fix and move the pig shelter. So now that we've done that, we can actually put these into the done pile, which this is my favorite piece of this whole system, is the done pile, because I often struggle with feeling like I've used my time well and like really getting down on myself for feeling like I've wasted time, or like it's like, what, you know, I didn't get enough done, or I wanted to get so much more than I did get done, that kind of stuff. And so when I'm really, really struggling with my mental health, I just open my done drawer and I look at this, which is evidence of all of the things that we have gotten done in the very recent past. And so that helps me a lot.
I was laughing when you found your missing wallet under that done pile, though, earlier.
We don't need to talk about that.
Chris Conversino, our good friend here, says,
Yeah.
How did the group experiment go?
Oh, I love that you asked that. Okay, so as part of writing this book, the thing is that I myself, in preparation for writing this book, have read conservatively like 150 books about time management, productivity, team management, corporate management, that kind of stuff. And in that, I wanted to make sure that I had something new to say, something different to say, a different voice to say it with, and I wasn't just contributing to the noise, because I definitely, I don't think I have like...
Did you explain what the
Yes,
group was?
I'm explaining. Okay. So, I don't ever
Sorry, I'm trying to like play the role of the audience to make sure.
Yes, but you're also distracting from the point by asking questions that are like stopping me from being able to make the point.
Okay.
So anyway, I didn't want to contribute to the noise. I wanted to make sure that I had something valuable to offer. And so in that, as I was writing my time management book, I asked my audience for some participants to join me on a 12-week time management cohort, like a group that would meet together on a weekly basis to go over like the book and the topics that are covered in the book, to see, hey, are these different than the other time management books you've read? Like, are these helpful things to talk about? And I am really pleased to say that we had 53 people that joined us in that 12-week experiment. And it was actually so positively helpful for those people that we actually decided we're going to do an official one that we're going to like market and sell to support the finishing of the school project. And we're going to be doing that in February. So if you are struggling with time management or even just struggling with like having a sense of direction and meaning and purpose, we aim to answer all those questions as we talk a lot more about psychology than people probably expected when they first started joining that. But it kind of it became known as the class where everyone cries. So, you know, if you have a blocked tear duct, we can help you fix that.
All right,
in addition to your like planning out your planner in your life.
I need to redeem Jeremy, who apparently I missed the sarcasm earlier, was making a joke about LMNT.
Oh, no problem. I'm really glad you gave me the opportunity to give you a tiny portion of my Salt TED Talk, though, Jeremy, because one of my friends, Dustin, who was just here, we were talking about how it was, by the way, Dustin and I met on Instagram. We have chatted back and forth about a handful of things, but we did not know each other in person. So inviting him to our home to spend Thanksgiving week with my family and I was kind of a funny, like, risky thing to do. But I was pretty confident that, like, everything we talked about, we had lots in common. So, but it became even funnier because as he got here and we started talking in person, we realized how much we truly did have in common. And one of the first things he said to me was, one of my favorite things in the world is hearing people talk about the thing that they're most excited about. And that is me too, because passion is so infectious. And I don't actually care what it is you're talking about. If you're really excited about it, I will listen to you talk about it like ad nauseum. I wish I could transfer that skill to Adam, who often is telling someone after they've finished their TED Talk about the thing they're most interested about it. He's like, if I was editing that YouTube video, I would have cut about 90% of what you just said.
I do not say that to strangers.
Well, when are you actually interacting with strangers? You have said that to like our close friends on multiple occasions.
No, I would not. That's fake news.
Well, anyway, all that to say.
Absolutely have not said that. That would be very
Okay, well,
rude.
I have a question for you.
That would be very rude.
Yes, it would be. Anyway, I have a question for you. Based on that same conversation with Dustin, he asked, he while we were talking later on that same day, he was like, what do you, he was asking me for like things that I thought that I might just casually say in conversation, but if I said them, people would think that I was lying. And so he was like, that's one of my favorite questions to ask people, was like, tell me something about yourself that if you were telling a stranger, they would think that it was a lie.
You're asking me?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool question prompt. So I'll give you the one that I casually mentioned in conversation that prompted the conversation about that topic. So we were listening to the radio.
That's just an opportunity to like brag though, isn't it?
No. Well, I mean, I guess it's a chance to brag, but also just, I guess we came upon this topic so innocently that I was just thinking of it like, that's actually just a really cool thing to ask someone. Like, I mean, one of the things that people are generally quite surprised about is that I speak fluent Chinese. Like, not something you would expect.
Again, an opportunity to brag.
Okay, fine. But like...
I think it's great though. She speaks Chinese.
But anyway, I'm not trying to talk about myself. I just wanted to like give you the example so that you can answer. And while you think about that, I guess I'll brag about this other thing since you're now being a jerk about this. But yeah, so we were listening to the radio and a song came on the radio and I was like, oh my gosh, my bunny is on the cover of this album. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, So Kacey Musgraves is one of my customers at the farmer's market, and she needed a bunny for a photo shoot. And so my bunny was used in the photo shoot for her album.
It's true. You can go look at her press for the latest album. There's Briggs bunny on it.
There's Briggs bunny on it. And so all that to say that he was like, no way. And I was just like, no, dude, this. And he's like, so that's something that if you just randomly told someone something like that they would think it's a lie. So Adam?
I think I'll deflect that question and answer a question on here from Chris earlier.
Wait. Don't change the subject. I will tell you that Adam has, separate from me, a viral internet video of him playing the guitar with his teeth.
Yeah, so I spent most of my teenage years wood shopping guitar in my room.
Not in an actual wood shop. Playing guitar in his room.
So there's kind of like an old joke that teenage boys either get good at one or two things when they're teenagers, either the guitar or magic. And mine was
that's not where my mind would have gone. But
no, so yeah, I played a lot of guitar. I mean, this is like pre-internet. Like, you have not a lot to do. You just get really good at the guitar.
Adam is incredibly good at guitar, and also piano, drums, bass. He's very good at all the musics. In fact, that was one of the things that Dustin was very surprised. Dustin, like, Adam grabbed a guitar and just like would listen to 3 or 4 seconds of a song, and then Adam would play that. And Dustin was very impressed. And so Adam and I were like, well, this is great. Living in Nashville, all of our friends are musicians, and they're all way better musicians than I could ever hope to be. Adam is a better musician than 99% of people could ever hope to be. But so for me, it's like when our friends are over, my first thought isn't to play music for them, because I am nothing compared to them.
Oh, I'll say one that you hate that I think is interesting.
Great.
I like playing the game GeoGuessr.
Oh yeah, I don't hate that. I just
Annie hates any kind of video games, and
That's not true.
And for the most part, I don't really play video games either
anymore.
But this one is like educational, and I've gotten pretty good at GeoGuessr.
Adam is a world champion GeoGuessr player, so if you were to drop a pin,
I'm not a world champion, but I'm probably ranked like 2,000th in the world.
If you were to drop a pin anywhere on the planet and show Adam a picture from that place, Adam would probably be able to guess within a 200-mile radius of where in the earth that was. And here's how I found out that he was playing video games again, because Adam is partially correct. I don't love video games, because when we first met, my brother was addicted to a video game and ended up flunking out of college as a result. Yes. And so, and his, our relationship really changed because of that, which was a real bummer, because he's great.
Okay.
Like the thing is that he actually was then able to utilize that skill in an incredible way, because he is now a video game level designer and is extremely successful in his career as a result of it. But during that time, I was just like, well, this is a real bummer, because I don't get to hang out with my brother as much as I used to, because he was playing video games. So that's why I don't really love video games.
Anyways, so GeoGuessr is a game where you get dropped randomly any place on Earth in Google Street View, and you have to place a pin down on the map is where you think it is, and then you get more points depending on how close your pin is to the actual location.
And so the way that I found out that Adam was playing video games again is because we were driving somewhere in the car together, and he started asking me about grass. And generally speaking, like, Adam and I don't have, like, we have music in common, and, like, we work together now, and so we have that in common, but, like, we don't generally, like, the things that I'm very, very passionate about, like, learning about and talking about, we don't generally have those two things in common. So I have been very interested and invested in grasses because I'm a dairy farmer now. And as a dairy farmer, I've become a grass farmer. So we're on this long drive, and Adam is asking me questions about grass for 40 minutes.
Well, so a big part of the game, just for context, is...
You just spoiled the end of the story.
This is how I think. I start with the point, and then I work backwards. You start with the context, and then you get to the point.
Yeah, because I don't care about the point if I don't have the context for why the point matters.
But I get lost. If I'm listening to somebody explain context away, I'd lose interest.
Yes, which is why he normally would never listen to me talking about something I'm interested in for more than 5 minutes, much less 40. So we're driving here, and he like asked me more and more questions about grass, and I was like, at first I was like, okay, this is amazing. He's like asking me about something he knows I'm interested in. This is really positive evidence that our marriage counseling is working and all this stuff. Then the next day, or maybe like a couple days later, we're driving in the car again, and he starts asking me about trees, and I'm like, what is happening like this? And then he interrupts me giving a TED talk about a tree he has genuinely just asked a question about. And he says, I don't care about that part. Can you tell me about the foliage? And I was like, why are you asking all these questions about trees and grass? And he's like, so I've been playing this game, and basically like one of the big indicators about where it is in the world is like what is the foliage on the trees and the kinds of grass that are growing. And I was like, oh, so you don't actually care about these things that I'm wildly knowledgeable about and care deeply about. You just wanted to get better at playing your video game.
Yeah, so again, the point is that a big part of the game is identifying vegetation throughout the world so you know where you are. That's all I was going to say.
Yes, that's also what I said. So anyway, all that to say that video games can give someone the impression that their marriage counseling has really, really worked well.
Love it.
Different takeaways for different stuff. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, that was it. GeoGuessr.
Weren't you just talking? Okay, I love that. That is a very good thing about Adam. That is, again, unknown or sounds ridiculous. But truly, actually, I think it's kind of a funny thing because, you know, in our generation, like classic example, we didn't have the internet. So kids had a lot more time on their hands when we were kids. And in that, you know, like boys would always be like, hey, do you want to watch me play video games? And like, I literally cannot imagine a thing I would want to do less. But Adam is so good at GeoGuessr that actually our guests in our home now actually really enjoy watching Adam play GeoGuessr.
It's a nice little party trick. But
so is juggling, which apparently I was also one of those little boys because I got really good at magic, so.
There you go.
There it is.
Well, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, I feel like we've been here for a very long time, with very little usable information to share with the world. But
it's been fun.
It has been a real hoot. Thank you all so much for being here. Also, I did want to show you one other thing that I actually got from Duluth earlier this week. And the reason why I love it is because I'm a big fan of vests. We've already talked about this. But anyway, this actually became my favorite thing this week because I love vests because it lets your arms be out and usable. Like, you know, when you're on the farm or whatever, your arms are still free and you're not wearing like 17 layers of puffy. Oh, also I have a circulation disorder, so I'm always cold. So that's why I'm always wearing really warm stuff until, like, you know, it's as hot as Hades outside. Anyway, all that to say, I got this vest, and the coolest thing about it is, like, I hate buttons because I constantly am, like, just trying to, like, very quickly take things off or like, put them on or whatever, and this thing has magnetic buttons. It is literally the best, like, most exciting thing ever because as I'm putting on and taking off my vest, it's not only very satisfying as I zip it up, the magnetic buttons, I didn't even know this was a thing. Now I do, and I am going to insist that all of my clothing has magnetic buttons from now on. And that's what I wanted to tell you about because A, purple, my favorite color, and magnetic buttons. I didn't even know this existed, so now internet, you know that garments with magnetic buttons exist, your life can be changed, hopefully, as much, if not more, than mine was.
Also, I just want to say, Teresa McCoy, I see you. It's been like a running commentary throughout the whole stream. Thank you.
What?
No, she's
What'd
just
she say?
she's just super engaged.
Oh, I love that. Thank you
I
for
love
being
it.
here.
Love it. Thank you for being here.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for sharing your... Is it Saturday right now?
It is Saturday.
Thank you for sharing your Saturday night with us. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.